Hello, fellow doodlers! Last week, I posted a short of the design process of a dragon fairy. In actuality, that was a redesign. I designed Kaida for a school project a few years ago, and she was my first unnatural character. I say unnatural because until then, I'd just drawn normal humans with normal skin tones. Definitely no really pointy ears or slanted eyes or pointy chins. I didn't redesign much, just her eyes, which used to be normal human eyes, wings, and I added a few scales to her face, kind of like freckles. Which, by the way, I have no idea how to draw dragon scales. That was kind of a dumb move. But oh well. I was rewatching the first How to Train Your Dragon with my family, and I watched Toothless's eyes and how they changed. I really wanted to draw my fairy pupils changing like that. It's a different way of showing emotion than I'm used to, and something new. So here I am. I gotta say, this was kind of nice. I was recording, but I didn't really plan anything. I was just drawing a character that I wanted to draw. I don't really delete my process here. You'll notice I struggle picking the next pose a few times before settling. I wanted to do a kind of full body picture of her. I don't really need to add the legs, but upper body. And I was struggling with that. I wanted to draw Kaida's friend, a fire fairy that I never named, but decided against it in the end. Instead, I suffered through trying to draw a dragon without any references, because where am I going to find those? It was really nice redrawing her after all this time. Kaida was kind of like a mold breaker for me. As I mentioned before, she was my first unnatural character. She was also the first to have a disability. Kaida was born mute. I don't remember why I added that, but it's just become a solid part of her character that it would be silly to remove it now. Even now, she still breaks my mold. I added oddly colored eyes, scale freckles, sharp teeth, really just pulling out her dragon element. She's literally the sweetest little thing I've ever created in such a cute character. You might think otherwise by the angry expression, but hey, she has reason. Probably. She's actually one of the many characters of mine that doesn't really have a story. I know she's a miniature dragon fairy, which means she feels the most connection with the smaller, gentler breed of the mighty reptiles. I also know that dragon fairies are rare and basically extinct, as they were as violent as the beasts they cared for. Just as dragons, large ones at least, were hunted down, so were their fairies. Eventually, even the fairy kind themselves helped to stop the mindless destruction. Poof, no more dragon fairies. Until Kaida, at least. Notice her hair is short? It was chopped after her birth, and she was thrown out of the village because of what she was. Not to mention mute, as fairies were perfect creatures. Imperfections were not tolerated. Yes, character pain. Y'all should know this by now. Just so y'all know, she wasn't a baby when they threw her out, in that sense. I remember watching this Barbie movie, and it was about these landowners, and they were trying to destroy the fairy forest, but they had to protect the bushel of flowers because that's where the fairies were born. They weren't born as babies though, they were born as full grown. But they came out of flowers, and I thought that was so cool, and I wanted to put that in my story. But despite all this, she is still the sweetest little creature. She lives in a coven of miniature dragons, basically as their caretaker. I like her friend a lot too, maybe I should redraw her too. She's a fire fairy that can't control her element. Occasionally, she'll get upset and light herself on fire, burning things around her. Remember how I said no imperfections? Yeah, she was also kicked out after several incidents. But dragons are fireproof. Kaida too. She can be around the fire without getting hurt. They're cute, I like them a lot. It's like the platonic version of a sunshine and sunshine protector. The fire fairy is very protective over the tiny cinnamon roll of a dragon fairy. Other than that, there really isn't much to the story. Considering my favorite genre is romance, if I ever developed the story, I would probably make it into a romance. We'll see if we get there. I have random attacks of motivation for stupid stuff like that. Usually when I want to work on something actually relevant. Anyways, I'd love to hear about your favorite characters. What makes them your favorite? Do they have a story, or are they just fun to draw? Let me know. I love fangirling over character creation. Just ask literally anyone. Don't forget to leave a like before you leave, or, even better, if you like what you see, you can subscribe. I may be random in content, but it's all art related. I also listen to suggestions for videos if you have them. Thanks for watching, see y'all next week, hopefully.